How's your lockdown routine going? I'm Rachel Papworth from Green and Tidy, the online professional organiser. I liberate busy people like you from the shackles of clutter and chaos for peace of mind and productivity, because when your home works, your life works. And I held off talking about routine during lockdown and how to create and maintain a routine, because it felt to me like it was a bit of a heavy subject for the early days of this crazy time. I thought it was a bit much to overload us with, trying to be perfect at first. I wanted to give us all time to settle down a bit and get used to this new normal. And I feel myself, I'm at that point now. I feel like it's been a few weeks now, and it's a good time to take stock and think about what's been working and what's not been working. And I thought I'd give us all an opportunity to do that together. So what I'm going to share today is how I've created my routine, some of what I find works and doesn't work, and the way my routine works. And please do feel free to share your thoughts both in the comments below the video, and if you're watching this live, in the live chat. It comes up really small on my phone, so I have to peer at the phone to read it, but I'll do my best to pick up the comments and comment on them as we go through. And if you find something in this video useful, please give it a thumbs up, because it's very helpful to me. Thank you very much. I have my cheat sheet handy because there's quite a lot I want to cover in today's video. Hello to, see, I can't read unless I lean right in. Ocean Girl. Hi, Ocean Girl. Thank you for tuning in. So let's see. So I found what I found helpful in checking over my routine and making sure that my routine works is to think about it in 5 areas. So I've divided my life into kind of 5 domains, and I've thought about what works and what doesn't work in each of those. So I'm going to talk about each of those. The first domain is my environment. Well, that's where I'm always going to start. So that includes basically my environment right now, like all of us, is my home, right? So what's important to me now is keeping my home, and also I have a garden, so keeping my home and garden in such a state that it supports me. So of course that includes decluttering, tidying, organising, keeping it clean. It also includes for me feeding the birds regularly, so that there's lots of bird activity in my garden and I can watch them. It also includes making the space beautiful. So for you that might be some fresh flowers, or I don't know, the little things that you like to have about you. And it also includes throwing the windows and doors open when the weather's nice, to let the fresh air in and feel myself connected to the outside. So environment, that's the first one. My second one is my mental and spiritual well-being. So that includes making sure I spend some time outdoors. I make sure I'm outdoors for at least part of every single day. I have to clear my throat. It includes connecting with family and friends. You might have heard me say before that I've decided, and I have been, making sure that I speak to somebody on the phone or have a video chat at least once per day. So I speak to a member of my family or a friend every single day. It includes making sure that I build some relaxation into every day. It includes being rigorous with my existing social media rules. I have rules around using social media, not going on social media before a certain time of the day, not going on it after a certain time of the day, limiting how much I use it, limiting how I use it. Like, I don't scroll through newsfeed, for example. I'm not going to say I've never broken those rules, and particularly in the early stages of lockdown I have, but I know that it's not good for my mental health, so I'm reminding myself to keep those rules in place. Making sure I do some soul nurturing activities. So for me that includes singing and dancing. Being aware of my thoughts and watching negative thoughts, converting them to positive thoughts. Trying to be positive both internally and externally, so both with myself and also how I express myself to other people. And also learning. So I've continued with my singing lessons, for example. I can do that by video class, and also with dance lessons by video, so that I'm learning. So those things all contribute to my mental and spiritual well-being. My third domain is my physical well-being. So as I've also mentioned on these videos before, I'm making sure I do daily exercise. That's usually a bike ride. For me, it might be a walk, but it's usually a bike ride. That includes food, eating healthily, making sure I'm hydrated, not drinking too much alcohol or eating too much junk food. Again, I am not going to say that the wheels have not fallen off in the last 5 weeks. They most definitely have. And each time they do, it reminds me why it's not a good idea. But, at the same time, sometimes we need to let ourselves do that. So, if you want the occasional off night, knock back a few glasses of wine and eat a few bars of chocolate, knock yourself out, you have my permission. Making sure I get enough sleep. Oh, if you do drink too much alcohol, drink loads of water with it. Try to get enough sleep. Take 2 paracetamol when you wake up. That always helps me. Yes, not. I think I covered all those. Seem to have not too much alcohol, not too much junk food on my list twice. I wonder why. Right, so that's my third one. My fourth one is work and finance. So that includes for me keeping my work mostly to weekdays. The only exception would be if when a client wants to do a video session at the weekend, I do that. But my other work, anything that I can do, anything that I can set the time for, I do it on a weekday. And making that also means that the weekends are different from the week, which I think is quite important. It also means for work and finance, that also means making sure I've thought about how to make the most of the kind of work that I can still keep doing. So I have a lot of online products, and I've been doing a lot of work to further develop and promote them, and also to promote my video remote working sessions with clients. I've always worked remotely with clients. I've always done video sessions as well as in-home sessions, so that's great. I'm lucky I can build on that. As I said, this is the work and finance category, so it also includes stuff around finance, applying for any government support that I'm entitled to. It might for you also include applying for a mortgage holiday, applying for refunds on tickets that you now can't use, that sort of thing. And then, and cutting expenses too. So I think I shared in an earlier video that I've got myself onto free business banking and a cheaper mobile phone contract. So there might be ways in which you can cut your expenses too. And then my final domain is my community contribution. So I've volunteered for something with my local authority to deliver leaflets in my area. You may be caring for vulnerable people outside your neighbourhood, outside your household, for example, so your community contribution as well. And there may also be other areas for you that are not relevant to me. So you, for example, might be homeschooling. That's obviously a really big one. And I also want to say in all this that I really recognise the ways in which I am a lot more fortunate than a lot of people. So for one thing, I have a beautiful home. I'm financially secure. I'm healthy. My friends and family are healthy. I have friends and family. And I've been working at home for a long time. I've worked at home for myself at home for decades. So I'm set up to work at home. Of course, if it's new for you to be working at home and maybe you're homeschooling, as well as all this, I just do recognise what an extra challenge this is. And that's partly why I'm making this video. So those are the 5 areas. So based on that, I'm going to share with you what my routine is. So my morning routine is essentially the same as it's always been, although I am actually giving myself a little bit longer in bed, setting the alarm a little bit later than I do not during lockdown. So obviously I wake up. The first thing I do when I wake up is check in on my thoughts, because it's so easy when you first wake up to go into loads of negative and anxious thoughts, isn't it? It's crazy that. So I make a conscious effort to channel my thoughts to a positive vein. I love my bed, it's so comfortable, I love my room, I've got such a lovely house, I've got a kitchen with food in it, I'm healthy, all the things I've just said, my friends and family are healthy, the things that I know I can be grateful for. And then obviously get up, do the basics, clean my teeth, draw the blinds, wash my face, that kind of stuff. Then I do a set of stretching and toning exercises, and I also do my singing practice. I've shared before that if I don't do those 2 things before breakfast, they don't get done. So that's part of my morning routine. And then I have breakfast. And then I start work. The first thing I do is my social media and email check-in. I do this every morning, do a round of all my social media accounts, reply to any messages, any comments, check my emails, deal with anything that needs to be dealt with, schedule anything I can't deal with immediately. During the period of lockdown or during this coronavirus period, I've also built into that checking the coronavirus statistics and checking on the news. I do that just once a day because it's stressful to do anything more than that. I want to stay in touch, but I don't want to overload myself with stressful information. So I do that once a day as part of that routine. I also do the King's College app where you self-report how you're feeling and whether you've been tested for COVID-19, because that contributes to research into COVID-19. So do that every morning as well. And then I do the main tasks for the day, which I've scheduled in advance. I may also have obviously client consultations, so I work around the client consultations and the work that I could do at any time. But I've decided that in advance. I don't make the decision on the hoof. I've got that planned in advance. And I make sure that I break every few hours, go and make myself a drink. I have a proper break for lunch, go and sit in my kitchen. I don't sit at my desk, I go to a different place to have lunch. I have a longer break in the afternoon that's when I do my exercise. And then I stop work usually about 5 or 6 o'clock. And then that gives me the evening to do things like have my phone chats with friends and family, cook and eat. I might have a dance class, and then I'll read or watch a film before bed. And then, so that's my daily routine. And then there's a few things obviously that have to be fitted in on a more kind of weekly or even slightly longer basis. So that includes, for example, I'm trying to do my weekly, what I would normally do is my weekly grocery shop. I'm trying to do it once every 10 days as per government advice. Really difficult to manage fresh food around a 10-day shop, I'm finding, but I'm doing my best to do that. So I try and go shopping. Usually I try and go on a weekday morning since I have the privilege to do that. And it's in fingers crossed that the shops will be a little bit quieter at that time. I'm not sure whether that's paying off or not, but that's my aim. And then of course there are other jobs like cleaning and batch cooking and having a video singing lesson. And I try to do those at the weekends because, as I mentioned before, I think it's good to try and keep the weekends and the week separate. So there you go. That's my what I found to work for me, and some domains to consider when you're thinking about what's working and what's not working for you in terms of a daily, weekly routine during lockdown. I would really love to hear what's working and what's not working for you, and anything that I can help you with around that. So please put that in the comments below. Is there anything else I need to share with you? Great gratitude. I'm going to be grateful. I am grateful today for the weather today has been mostly beautiful and sunny with a little bit of a downpour in the middle of the day, which I really enjoyed. I leant out of the window and watched the rain falling and making the water move on the bird bath and making a noise that fell on the glass roof of my utility room, and it was really refreshing and I really enjoyed it, and I'm really grateful for that today. And I will see you in the next YouTube live. Bye for now.